I want to welcome you back to Boxing Jabs. Tonight, we have one of the biggest upsets in boxing this year. George Kambosos Jr., all the way from Australia, upsets Teofimo Lopez to become the lightweight champion of the world. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, always comment on this video. Tonight, you saw a determined young man become the lightweight champion of the world. George Kambosos Jr. said it from day one that he would upset Teofimo Lopez. This fight started off as a barn burner. Teofimo Lopez came out with emotion. He came out with anger trying to knock out George Kambosos Jr. But it truly backfired on him early. At the end of the first round, he got hit with a solid right hand and he went down. Many people in the arena were shocked. I was shocked that this happened because we didn't know that George Kambosos had power like that. George Kambosos hit him right there on the chin. And from there on, it seemed like George Kambosos Jr. controlled the boxing ring. It seems like Teofimo Lopez wasn't using the intelligence when it came to boxing like he used against Lomachenko. It seems like his anger, his emotions took over him, and it seems like he was fighting recklessly. But George Kambosos Jr., what he did was magnificent. He counterpunched him so beautifully all night. He stuck to his game plan. He used the ring. He took away Teofimo Lopez's power. And that was strategically intelligent for George Kambosos Jr. It seemed like Teofimo did not have an answer for George Kambosos Jr. Teofimo Lopez, if he would have had a plan, if he showed respect that all fighters should show another fighter, he possibly could have won this fight. But George Kambosos Jr. was a much better fighter than I thought he was. This guy is fast, he's slick, he has great lateral movement, and he's a great counterpuncher. This fight reminded me so much of a fight a long time ago when a guy from England came over here, and I think the number one or number two pound for pound fighter in the world, Don D.C. Curry, Lloyd Hunnigan, came over from England. Nobody truly knew who he was. He came over here and destroyed Don D.C. Curry. And this is what tonight George Kambosos Jr. did. He came from Australia to pull the biggest upset this year. And he said it in an interview, "I'll become the greatest Australian fighter of all time." He predicted this. He believed in it. He saw the weaknesses in Teofimo Lopez and he exposed it. But one thing he did is he made Teofimo Lopez come outside his strategic battle. He got the man to fight angry. He wanted that knockout so bad that he forgot you could also win this fight on points. And when he did that and it didn't happen, it fell into George Kambosos Jr.'s wheelhouse. And you saw him beautifully counterpunch all night. This was a great fight. But this is a great fight for boxing because this is what boxing is. When the guy is truly an underdog and he steps up to the plate and he shows everybody that he still is capable of becoming champ. We don't know how long George Kambosos Jr. will be unified lightweight champion. But all you have to do is gain those championships for one night and you will be remembered for all times. He is a champ. He probably, if Devin Haney beats Jojo Diaz, there will be an undisputed lightweight championship fight because I believe that George Kambosos Jr. will fight anybody. And with his skills, he possibly could end up being the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He proved that tonight. He proved that he's a tremendous fighter. He proved that he's possibly a top 10 fighter in the world right now because what he did tonight. So I want to thank George Kambosos Jr. and I want to thank him and his father for the opportunity for us to see a young fighter reach his potential. I want to thank you for listening to Boxing Jabs. I hope you subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, but also share this video.